Yo, yo, yo. What's going on? See, you already got a like popping from my baby.
I'm gonna close the door because I'm gonna watch on TV.
All right, man. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and give people a little chance to get in here. It's a little bit different setup. I just got too much going on to be in the truck today, so had to go ahead and pop in. Let me know how my audio is. I am using the Pixel Buds today. If it's trash, let me know. If not, we'll rock out. It's a busy day, man. It's a big day, especially for all y'all Apple fans out there. What's going on, Justin? I see you in the building. Appreciate you for stopping through, man. I know I know you got some thoughts and feelings. I got some thoughts and feelings too. Um, Harrison, what's going on, man? So did y'all get to watch the event? I think Justin, I think you got to watch it. Harrison, did you get to watch it? Let me know. Let me know. I can't lie. I'm low key excited for y'all, man. Oh yeah, we know Phone Tech at work watched it. Yeah. So let me know. We definitely gonna talk about it. I got my notes here. What's going on, Six? What's up? I'm gonna give people probably another minute or two to hop in. We can just kind of chat it up. Man, how y'all feeling about it? Me as a non-Apple person, I'm excited for y'all. I feel like y'all have some good I feel like Apple is kind of coming down to earth with their products and what they're offering. Of course, they did the same Apple Talk where they're, the most this and the wonderful is that and the most whimsical whatnot, you know. So just to say, I watched, I enjoy the pre-recording a lot better than the live shows. Yeah, the pre-recording. I mean, Apple put their spin on it, and after a while, I felt like I was watching a movie. Like the quality is definitely top notch. I mean, obviously, it's Apple. Um, the Apple products that they produce, the quality is always there. It's just what is that quality going to cost you in money? And this year, I wasn't. I don't know if it's because they've been prepping us every year, but the sticker shock wasn't there for me. I actually, in some of my notes, actually wrote down the words "strong value" next to an Apple product. I can't believe I did that. But yeah, we'll get into it. Jason, what's going on, homie? I know you took off, man. Jason said it costs us a lot cheaper than the latest Samsung products. Yeah, man. Yeah, I feel like Apple kind of hung Samsung out there to dry this year, as far as their offerings. But we kind of felt that, especially with the Note 20 Ultra series. Um, they were kind of in the stratosphere, and I think they put things into the Note, but I feel like they were a combination of kind of trying to fix things that were broken in the S20 series and trying to create value or create a reason why it should be so high. But really, the value wasn't there. I don't think anybody bought a Note and felt like it was worth this price. I felt like you bought a Note because you want a Note and that's just what it cost, and you weren't going to pay 2K for a Fold 2. Uh, Ashley says she felt blah about it. Nah, but she's more interested in iPad stuff because she owns an iPad. Phone Tech at Work says 11 Pro Max cheaper than the Note Ultra. What's going on? 12 Pro Max, I meant. Yeah, man. Justin says they've done a decent job over time creating a line of phones that's available for everyone at a lot of price points. Yeah, man, Apple has silently been kind of assassinating phones at every price point, and I knew out the bat. So let me try to silence some vibrate stuff. I got a lot of stuff vibrating here. 1 second. Silence that. Silence this guy. Yeah, but let's see. Jason says 128 gig finally the new standard. What's going on, RP3? What up, though? Yeah. Jason says that's been long overdue. Facts. Those are big facts. And this is the year, man. This is the year that I feel like Apple. They. I feel like this was so. I feel like every phone, every good phone is a 3 year plan, like a 3 year investment. Like a company starts planning a phone 3 years in advance before they release it. That's why any company that comes out with a device like Microsoft that came out with the Surface Duo, I'm like, I need to see what the third version looks like because that is when, if it's a good company and they have a good product, it'll be kind of fully matured. So if you look at even the Galaxy Fold, where the Fold 2, everybody loves it. Imagine what the third one's going to be like next year. That's going to be the one where I think that they can price it a little bit more aggressively. They'll have a lot of the just day-to-day functionality stuff worked out. Um, and I feel like this phone, this iPhone 12, back when they released the X, I feel like they were making plans for this phone, right? They were setting the stage, and Apple just isn't a product company or a business as well. So I think from a business standpoint, they were making a lot of moves to set the stage for now these are dummies, all right, for these devices, right? So these are the dummies of the 12 and the 12 mini. Um, but just the idea that they're going to have an iPhone that starts at $700 that has an OLED screen. Something that on the X when it came out it was $1,000. They started actually having people start paying for that back then, so that now they can put it in the $700 device and charge and give you top notch screen quality, and they're not costing that much. Let's see. Justin said 128 for the Pro, not the lower end 12, still 64 gig base. Yeah, and so I was going to talk about that too. I picked up on that. Let's see. RP3 says computational photography is the new hotness. Samsung will go all out to top it. Facts. Yeah, that's computational, which I feel like is the only thing that Google has given the mobile industry from a you know hardware standpoint. Computational photography is the future, and it's the way things need to be. Ishmael says beard on point. Appreciate that, man. I actually just touched it up when I got on here, man. I'm actually on my tab at 7. As you can see, I'm not in the truck. I'm in the house today because I just got so much stuff, and I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead, hop on my tab at 7. I got my notes here next to me. We're gonna go ahead and rock out like this today. Keystone Tech said, "Hey man, I heard the bad news, Keystone man. I hate that for you, man. Adobe Vision, in my opinion, is the biggest highlight." Says Jason. That is pretty big, man. I'm interested to see what the impact is going to be, right? Like what are people going to do with Adobe Vision? Because everything in Adobe Vision isn't going to be amazing, right? So, like I say, for me, um, I don't know. Maybe there'll be some way for me to display to convey like how vibrant or bright a screen is if you're recording Adobe Vision and you're watching on Adobe Vision compatible display. Maybe there'll be something like that going on. Keystone says to wait for the 512. Hey, jump on out there, man. And actually, the 512 isn't just ridiculously priced this year. It's $13.99 on the Pro Max and $12.99 on the Pro. So, 512 isn't just unobtainable this year. But just kind of going back through the comments, want to highlight something that both Justin and Rob kind of alluded to during the keynote. Apple unveiled the iPhone 12 first, right? They unveiled the 12, and the 12 has the majority of all the new features, right? So they used it as kind of like the flagship, like this is all the new stuff that iPhone can do, and they just slid the mini out there and named off stuff, but they didn't give any like hard specs, or they didn't linger on the mini stuff too much. And I feel like they did that to kind of make people mentally associate the mini with the other phones, but the mini won't have as much, especially as the pros. Um, but it'll have, the same name tech, right? But it won't have the same exact specs. So I think that's pretty interesting. But just for people who didn't get a chance to watch it, I want to make sure I go and touch kind of the highlights and things that stuck out for me. So the just the numbers, right? So for the pros are starting at 999 for the 6.1 inch, and the 6.7 inch is starting out at 1099. So apparently that's the biggest iPhone they've ever released at 6.7 inches. You know, you got four color options. You got graphite, you got gold, you got silver, and you got Pacific blue. Base storage starts at 128 for the pros. You got 128, 256, and 512. Um, and I'm sorry, I keep looking. If I keep looking over, the chat pops up every time y'all write something. But also, I'm used to the camera being over here, but on the tab S7, it's actually centered. So I have to get used to actually being able to just naturally look at the screen and know that you guys are seeing me look at y'all. So bear with me on that. Um, but yeah, so the price points for the small Pro, 128 gigs is 999, 256 is 1099, and the 512 is 1299. So already, you got to say that all the screen is smaller, so that's why it's cheaper. But then it's already given the no problems, right? But then you look at the Pro Max, 128 gigs is 1099, right? That's 200 less than the Note 9. I mean the Note 20 Ultra for the same storage option. The 256 gig is 1199, and the 512 is 1399. That's a very strong value, I think, for what you're getting for the storage, for the screen size, screen tech. That's a very strong value. Like I feel like they could have used that. Oh, this is the biggest screen on an iPhone ever, and they could have bumped that thing up to 1500, especially with all the phones they released four new phones. They could have thrown one out there for 1500, and people would have bought it. But I think that I actually respect what they did with the pricing here. Also, you're allowed to trade in on Apple site. If you have an 11 Pro Max, they give you $500. So to me, that's kind of weak. It's kind of a weak trade-in value. That phone is a year old. People are still selling Pro Maxes for 800-900 online. So they could have come a little stronger with the trade-in. But at the end of the day, they know people are going to buy it. Some of the just takeaways: the ceramic shield screen. It's a fancy name for tempered glass that's been doped with some extra stuff. We'll let Jerry Rig everything tell us exactly what that means. The Mo's picks don't lie, so once he gets a hold to it, we'll see what difference it makes, if any at all. One thing I did also notice: the colors. They are the rim is stainless steel, and they are color matched, but they're like a jewelry type finish. So this is going to be a beautiful device, I think. Obviously, they harped on it for a while. The 5G said that they have up to 20 different 5G bands they support. So, the fastest 5G ever, so they say. A14 Bionic, they got LiDAR in there. Of course, they spent a lot of time and probably money on Adobe Vision, not only having a Adobe Vision certified display that can show Dolby Vision, but also the camera being able to record in Dolby Vision, which is pretty cool. Something else that I thought was cool was the MagSafe feature. This is something that Apple hasn't really done in a while as far as like accessories. I feel like this is one of Apple's strongest suits, right? These little like one-off, like specific accessories. Like nobody can really compete with this MagSafe accessory now. Like you can buy a case that supports MagSafe. You can attach all these different accessories to it. I mean, it just solidifies people into their ecosystem. So that's another, that's why you want to buy a device, right? Some people might not care about being different from everybody else, but once you start spending, over $1,000 for something, it shouldn't be one of the meal. Like the company should be actually trying to secure your dollars, and I feel like Apple actually tried this year. Let's see. I'm gonna hop in the comments right quick. Let's see. Yeah, Keystone is not happy. I understand that, man. HomePod Mini as well, $99. We'll see how it goes this round. Um, the HomePod didn't do too hot. I think that price point was a big factor in that. $99. I think that's still kind of high, but if you chalk it up to Apple tax, it's still a lot more accessible than the 300 they were charging for the HomePod. Jason says price was kept due to the missing accessories. Yeah, I mean that's. I mean, I don't think that that's even a topic right now. Is the accessories like we knew that they weren't going to come with chargers, and at those price points, like it feels better. If they kind of say that that's a motivating factor for why the prices stayed the same, that's cool. But like I said, if they would have put that 6.7 inch out there, the 512 for 1,500, I don't think anybody would have batted an eye. I think that at this point it would have been par for the course, but they didn't. And like I said, I respect that. Jason says trade in for him is $699. I know you got 11 Pro Max. Um, yeah, where you getting that at? Because on the Apple site they're saying a max of 500 for an 11 Pro Max. Keystone says it's not 256 gigabyte and up for flagships. I'm not buying it. Okay, well, hey, to each his own, man. T in the building, what's going on, man? T says Apple trade-in values are a joke. Yeah, man, I definitely feel like it's kind of weak, especially for the value on the streets that those phones get. I feel like Samsung at least kind of mostly matched what you could get on the street for a phone, right? They would give you 650 for a Note 10 Plus, which we all know you might be able to get more than that on the street. And when I say more, I mean like maybe if you got all the box and the accessories and the plastic and nothing has been touched, your phone is basically in new condition. You might have could have slung a Note 10 Plus for 700 before the Note 20 Ultra came out. But to just throw your Note at Samsung, no box, no accessories, just throw it in the box, ship it back to them, and get 650. That was respect. Even for mine was cracked on the front and the back, and they still gave me 400. So I agree with that. Jason says if you pay in full, oh okay. So if you pay the full bill, then they'll give you 650 trade in. If you do installments, they'll do 500. Okay. Keystone says Verizon got me a better on the Pro Max 12 than Apple. I can believe that. Jason says he want that wallet. Yeah, that wallet is dope, man. Yeah, just the MagSafe, man. Yeah, like hey, I respect that, man. That's a cool feature. That's something I like. Keystone says I still got my chargers for my iPhone 11, and that's what Apple is banking on. That you can keep those chargers around. Justin says no charger and no headphones. Environmental twist is clever, but still trash. I agree. I agree. Like I said, I think that them not putting stuff in the box, that's cool, but you know, at the end of the day, you're buying a product, right? Nobody wants to buy a product that's going up and up in price and still not have anything, and still have less to show for it. Like that's not what's up. Oh, Jason, he's spreading that Apple money around. Says buy an iPhone this year. I think a more hands-on would be more beneficial to you, brother. Hey man, this right here is probably gonna be the closest I get to an iPhone for this year. Are these right here, man. Like, and the only reason I say this is because I feel like for Apple, if I just went out and bought an Apple phone, it wouldn't. I could give you more insight into owning it, but as far as like the way that I work and I do stuff, I always have a pen on me. Like I'm immediately going to miss that, right? Just the way that I set up stuff, like the way I set up my home screen and do my devices. Like this is my home screen. Like I don't have any. apps on it because I use this little pull-out bar, and anywhere I am in the OS, I can just swipe through. I got all these options. Like I'm used to just having a bunch of different, not a bunch of different ways, a very specific way I can use devices. Even using the Pixel 5, it's taking some getting used to. It's just a more basic experience, right? I'm not locked to, on my Samsung, I can set it up how I want. If I want all my icons on the home screen, if I want half widgets, half icons, I can, set it up how I want. But getting a device where I know I'm going to have to change my workflow specifically to fit that device's capabilities is a compromise for one. And for two, for Apple, you get the most bang for your buck with the whole ecosystem, right? So when you got an iPhone, when you got an Apple Watch, when you got AirPods, when you got some sort of Mac, you got an iPad, like that is the value. That's literally what you're paying for when you're buying Apple products is that ecosystem. I'm not to buy. I'm not about to buy the whole ecosystem. It's not gonna happen. So I feel like it's not necessarily a waste. I could, review an iPhone, but I feel like there's no value in reviewing the iPhone if I can't give people, knowledge about the whole ecosystem, how things work together. Because it's actually something I want to do with Samsung because they've been working on their ecosystem, and I want to kind of give an update, like a status of the ecosystem. Like, what are the connectivity options? You know, what are the benefits to owning, a Samsung tablet versus having a Samsung and an Amazon Fire or something else. So I feel like that's where the value is. That's what you're paying for. Uh, Ashley laughed at Jason appropriately as she should. CRP3 says Belkin will be picking up the money on those missing charges from Apple. Definitely, man. Apple accessories, especially their cables, have been trashed from the beginning, from the jump. I've never seen cables just disintegrate, and this is from using Apple products at work. So there's definitely going to still be a market for Apple accessories for chargers and things like that. Especially because if you have the charger from last year out the box, you still charging slowly, right? You still not even getting actual fast charging. So that accessory market is going to be there for sure. Jason says it's for extra content is all. Yeah, and like I said, that'd be if I got one somehow, like I would definitely put it on the channel, and it'd be interesting just from my perspective, I think. But I don't have any plans to do it, especially right now. I just don't have time. Uh, Shout out to Keystone Tech for the $2 super chat. He throwing around that money, man. I appreciate it. Keystone says Apple ecosystem is great. A watch is a waste to me. I like Samsung ecosystem is great. Yeah, like I say, man, to each his own. I am more of a Samsung guy just because in the past, up until now, they've just given you more features, in my opinion, that I feel like are useful and unique. Um, but it looks like it looks like Apple's trying to change that. Let's see. Check for your needs in the building. He says the Apple Watch is very important to me. I was able to call 911. Yeah, man. Like I said, the Apple Watch, as of right now, is the best smartwatch just from an integration standpoint. Um, I don't like the design too much. I don't like proprietary stuff, but you can't fault the integration with apps and the ecosystem at all. Jason says 18-watt fast enough. Nah, there are too many advancements in charging tech. Because the thing is, if 18-watt was fast enough, why would they sell one that's faster? Like it's obviously like it supports a feature that they don't include the capability to do that in the box. Like especially so I've used I do a perfect example. The Tab S7 Plus that I'm streaming on right now has a 10,000 milliamp hour battery inside. I have the 45-watt Samsung charger from the Note 10 Plus when they came out. The Note 20 Ultra does not support 45 watts. It's capped at 25 watts. This has a 4,500 milliamp hour battery in it. The battery in the Tab S Plus, I mean Tab S7 Plus charges faster than my Note 20 Ultra. Like I can charge literally from dead, zero, will not power on. I can charge the Tab S7 Plus from 0 to 100 in less than 90 minutes. Like it makes the device drastically more useful from that standpoint. Like now, whenever I'm charging my Note 20 Ultra, because the battery isn't amazing, now you need that faster charge time. I don't know what the battery's going to be like on the 12. I assume it'll be pretty good, especially on that Pro Max. But yeah, charging technology is it's advanced a lot further than 18 watts. Justice says wireless charging has increased to 15 from 10 last year. Yeah, and that's cool. I mean, that's almost as fast as the wired charging. Jason says, plus I get 12 to 13 hour screen on time. Yeah, man. I don't know what kind of voodoo you doing. I know you're getting them hours, man, but that's not regular. That's not running the mill. Let's see. Keystone says Note 20 Ultra 512 is a great business device. Yeah, you do a lot of work with it for sure. I do a lot of work on mine. Ishmael says I might pick up a tablet from Apple over the holidays, but on the fence because I don't use any of their products. Yeah, the iPad. So I'll be honest, the hardware, the display on the Tab S7 Plus is superior to the iPad Pro. Well, I take that back. The iPad Pro from 2020. Now the new iPad Air, if you don't need a bigger screen, like if you don't need like a 12 plus inch screen, you're not trying to replace a laptop, that one might be better. I haven't seen it, I haven't touched it. They're available in cool colors if that matters to you. But as far as the laptop replacement, iPad Pros, the 2020s from last year, Tablet 7 Plus is beating at least in those two areas. Battery life is similar from what I can tell. Tablet 7 Plus definitely charges faster if you've invested in the 45-watt charger. So it depends on what's important to you, especially if you're switching over to that ecosystem. Um, unless you have some specific applications you're trying to use or something like that, the iPad is kind of a hard sell for me. Keystone says Pro Max. I can't wait for it. Jason says DED. Say he did. Yeah, man. Dwight the blogger, what's up? He says, I think in the end, fast charging hurts the battery. Well, so there's definitely a certain threshold where you can only force charge into a battery so fast before it starts harming it. But the Chinese have basically circumvented that. So there's something called parallel charging. So now you have one battery in the phone, and the only way to charge that battery is through basically one charge source. Well, in China, they've developed batteries where they split the battery. So instead of having one battery, you have two batteries, and you just charge them parallel. So instead of having an 18-watt charger that charges one battery for 2 hours, you have a 65-watt charger that charges two batteries at like 30-ish watts, and now you've literally cut the charge time in half just from a numbers, just from a time standpoint. Like you cut the battery in half, and so now you're charging both those batteries at the same rate as you would one big battery. So it takes half the time. Like it didn't even take any extra charge to do that. So this is like a fundamental, just new way of thinking about that. Justice says 12 to 13 hour screen on time. Got to be using Voodoo or 3G. Yeah, man. Yeah, me and Jason been rocking for like a decade, man. We go way back. We OG Android dudes, man. He's always been like a battery fiend, man. Like if there's a way to conserve battery, he's gonna do it. But for what he's telling me, he's not having to do any of that on his iPhone. That is just naturally he's using it as is out the box, and it's achieving that. So like I say, only thing I can think of is Voodoo at this point. Let's see. Two phones. What's going on, man? He said slap on that Apple battery case for more battery life. Yeah, you know it's coming, man. They're gonna have some sort of charger out there. Keystone Tech says get a zero limit battery case for the Ultra. I'm getting the 10,000 milliamp hour one. Yeah, I got my eyes on the 5,000 because that'll get me like from dead. It'll get me up to 90% on the internal battery. But if I'm just using it throughout the day for slight charges popping on here and there, I think I don't necessarily have battery anxiety, But because compared to some of the other phones I've used, this phone charges so slow. When I get to about 30-ish%, I got to start making, I got to start planning stuff out. Got to start making moves then, to get on the charger, and then I just have to let it sit on the charger for longer. So yeah, that zero limit is definitely on my in my zone right now. Uh, my baby says having an iPad and using Android devices for all my other devices makes the iPad annoying to use at times. Things just don't work in a way that I've gotten used to doing things. Yeah, and that's kind of one of my complaints about uh, just about iOS and Apple as well. Their approach is we if there's a way to do something on a device, we're going to give it to you. Right? You can't just come up with how you want to do stuff. They're kind of relaxing on that here, kind of going forward, especially with iOS 14. But still, at the end of the day, it's still a very limited OS from a workflow standpoint, and that's something that, like I said, to spend a lot of money and subject myself to that, that's just not something I'm interested in right now. Jason says Apple has that optimized charging tech too, and with the latest Watch OS, they brought it over to the watch. Basically, it learns your daily pattern and will keep phone at 80% and only charge to 100%. I assume you mean only charge to 100% when it knows that you're about to take it off the charger or something like that. Yeah, I've seen a couple of different iterations of that. A lot of the Chinese phones they do that. I don't know who started it first, but I know when I had the Oppo Find X2 Pro, um, it had that option in there. And Samsung has a battery health option as well in the Note 20 Ultra, but I don't know who want to use it because what it does is it only charges your phone to 80%. Like it tells you it's 100, but it only uses 80% of the capacity to conserve your battery health. If the battery life was just amazing, then maybe that would be an option. But no, I need all of it, man. I need 100. I need 100% of my battery life on this Note 20 Ultra, just the way that I use it. Let's see. Tech for Your Niece says I can't wait to see how the 5G works on the iPhones. Um, I mean, Apple, they made a lot of promises about 5G, but they have no power over carriers providing 5G to you. So I think they kind of made some promises there that I don't think that it's necessarily up to them to keep. Because say like if I got T-Mobile and their 5G is kind of sketchy or weak, buying an iPhone ain't gonna change that. All you can get is what T-Mobile is providing. So yeah, I would have just said we got 5G and this is what it is. It's available. Because at the end of the day, that's not what's going to sell a device. Nobody's buying a phone because it's got 5G. Because hell, all of them got 5G now, so that's not even a big deal. See, Two Phone says 5G on the Note 20 Ultra is still spotty where I live, but I guess it's expected since my lady on AT&T. Yeah, man. Right now, as far as these 5G techs go, everybody's using something different. I know Verizon is using their ultra wideband stuff, and the problem with it is not available as widely as some of the other 5G tech. So T-Mobile's using, I'd say, was probably the slowest of the 5G tech, but they're easily able to cover a wide area with it. Whereas, like they mentioned in Apple's keynote, the 5G that's going to give you like the crazy up and down speeds, they're only going to be available at certain locations. Like they're not going to blanket a city with that anytime soon. Like the goal is literally designed to facilitate you in a coffee shop or at a football game or at a sporting event or a concert, any kind of large gathering where normally your cell phone, you guys would flood the towers. 5G is supposed to be able to better support a huge number of people doing network intensive activities like that in a small space. Like if you've been at a concert, you're trying to live stream or something like that, and it's, thousands of people there. That wasn't happening. Same in the football game. Now you could barely send a tweet, barely check Instagram. 5G is supposed to solve that. So
This came
we'll
back
see how
from a
that goes.
search.
All right, Google. Google getting mad. We talking about this Apple talk over here. Let's see what else we got. Justin says just came across a 9 to 5 Mac article 12. 6.1 actually cost 829. $7.99 pricing is a carrier special from AT&T and Verizon. Hmm, that's interesting because it's well, I don't. Well, I didn't look at the regular 12 on Apple site. I have to check that. I just looked at the pros, but that was the only thing I had a chance to look at before I hopped on. Um, okay, it's $30. I mean, most people are going to buy through a carrier. I mean, that's AT&T and Verizon. That's over half the U.S. that's going to buy on there anyway. Let's see. Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. So you were talking about the same charging tech, keeping it at basically keeping it at 80 until it knows you're about to wake up, and then it'll go ahead and charge that last 20% right before it knows you're about to get up. Yeah, that's respectable. Yeah, he says 200 characters ain't enough to explain. Yeah, man. Two Phone says Apple still lock us to 200 characters to text, or is it YouTube? It's probably YouTube. I'd have to. Yeah, Jason says it's YouTube. Take for Your Niece says, yeah, I agree, Jason. Not enough characters to explain. Brandon Lucky says, let's talk about that. Oh, that hat. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, so this is, I don't know if y'all able to see this or not. The Let's Talk Tech. Yeah, this is my favorite hat for a couple reasons. Shout out to the Luckies. Shout out to their mama. She hooked me up with the Let's Talk Tech hat. I'm gonna need to hit y'all up for another one, man. I've been wearing this one out. Maybe get some colors or something like that. But yeah, definitely my favorite hat by far. Appreciate that. And Brandon Harrison told me you were looking at that, interested in that Pixel 5. I definitely have a review going up. Probably be in a week or so. Probably be next week. Just got it in this past Saturday. Got my main SIM card in it. Been using it full time. It's interesting. A lot of interesting decisions. And is the other interesting thing is that this phone costs the same thing as the iPhone 12. Like I knew that um, mm, I knew that $700 was going to be an interesting price point, but just knowing that it's got to compete against this, I don't know. I think they'll do what they do, but they're gonna have to start putting that on sale. That's just my opinion. They have to go ahead and start putting that on sale, man. Because the problem with Apple right now at these lower price points is the compromises they're making to sell the phones at those price points because they're producing so many units. The cost per unit is real low for them. So you think about it, Snapdragon 865 is high. It's expensive, right? So any phone with it, the price it's going to reflect in the price. And if it doesn't, it's going to reflect in other places. So something that comes to mind in past years have been like the Poco. And that phone, when it first came out, it had an 800 series processor, and it was like three something, but it was like plastic body and a lot of other compromises. And you're not gonna live a Poco life, right? You're not gonna have a Poco lifestyle, right? You're gonna buy the Poco phone, and then you're gonna go out. You're gonna buy you a Samsung tablet or an iPad. You're gonna buy you a Windows laptop or a Mac. Like there's a lot that you aren't going to. There's no ecosystem basically. Like it's literally just a phone. But with an iPhone, when it comes to a price point, you still get access on the software front to all of their ecosystem, but you still getting a chip that's going to outperform whatever is at that price point. And so like I said, that's the Apple factor, right? Love it or hate it, you gotta respect it. Like when they come to a price point, it's disruptive. Like, I mean, this guy right here, I didn't catch what if the mini gonna be $599. Did I see that right? They flashed those prices up real quick on the screen, right? They came up and they showed a screenshot of the whole lineup and the prices. It maybe was up for like 12 seconds. I couldn't even get my phone out and take a picture of it fast enough. I have to go back through, but yeah, it's gonna be rough, man. Just says intercom for HomePod is a dope feature. Yeah, there's a Google has a similar feature to that. It's called broadcast, And but the idea that you can actually like send a message directly to somebody's like AirPods, that's crazy. That's pretty cool. That way, nobody has any excuses. Oh, I didn't hear you. I had my AirPods in. Like, nah, come on down here and clean these dishes. I know you heard me. I know you heard me. I sent it directly to your ear. Two Phone says, are you using Google Fi on the Pixel 5? I am not. On a 4A, I was using Google Fi. I still got my Fi SIM card in there, but I'm not paying for 5 every month because it is Sprint and T-Mobile and US Cellular, and my main SIM card is a T-Mobile SIM card. And for the amount of data that I use, 5 would not be a good value proposition for me. Two Phone says Apple put out 5 phones this year. Yeah, yeah, man. They came out. They flooding the streets. And the thing is, they literally just flip a switch, and they can make more money. Like they're at this point, they're just printing money. Like whatever price point they come out with the device at, they're going to outsell everybody at that price point for the most part. Jason says, York, it is if the whole house is on iPhone. Yeah, and that's yeah, that's a pretty cool feature though. And I feel like Apple set everything up. So you remember when they unveiled the watches, they came out with the Watch Series 6, they came out with the Watch SE, which is really a Watch 3. And they came out with it at that lower price point. So now you start giving people a reason to not only buy something for themselves, to actually want to, hey, I'm gonna get this to my kids so I know that I can communicate with them. Like it's like I said, from a business standpoint, man, you can't knock it, man. Two Phone says mini supposed to be 699. So the mini is 699 and the regular 12 is 799. Is that what it is? I have to look up some more. Matter of fact, look this up right now, just so I can have the right perspective on this. So do something that my phone is not used to doing. Let's go on to apple.com. And we're going to look at these. So I got the 12 Pros, we got the 12s. Let's view pricing. Uh, yeah, so the 12 mini is 699, 5.4-inch display. I mean, I understand there are people that still like small phones, but how? 5.4? Like the Pixel 4a, this is 5.8 inches. Like, I'm thinking that's the right perspective. Like, look at this. Like, this is a small phone at 5.8 inches. And that's with no notch. That's just with the cutout. So you still get the access to the, for the most part, the full display. But man, 5.4, that's rough. That phone is going to be tiny because when you look at the iPhone SE, when they had that small screen, at least they had big bezels on the top and bottom. So now you go bezel-less, and well, I'm over here. I'm over here discounting my dummy unit. So this is the mini, right? I forgot I had it. This is the mini compared to the 4A. Hold up the back. This is the mini compared to the 4A. So if the 4A is small for you, the mini is going to be super small. Like it is tiny. I don't know what the battery life is going to be like on it. It doesn't matter what the size is. If you use it, it's going to die. That's just physics. So, yeah, man. But yeah, so $699 for the mini, $799 for the 12, which is still 6.1 inches. It's not huge. Base storage 64 gigs. Max is 256. So if you want 128, you got to spend $750, and you got to spend $850 for 256, and that's on the mini. If you get the regular 12, You got to spend $850 for 128 or $950 for 256. So yeah, colors are cool. Yeah, man, the accessories, that MagSafe gonna be dope. Cause there's a company called Pataka that's basically created this same. Like I don't know if they're gonna get if there's any sort of like copyright issues because Pataka has been producing some cases that are called like Mag something, Mag Strip. Let me see what it is. If I can type. There's so theirs is called Mag Case, but it's still man, it's still super close. So there's a set of like cases that they have, and they have different accessories that you can magnetically attach to the back of them. They produce it for a lot of different phones, but yeah, they have the cases, they have wallets, and the wallets even attached to the back of the case in a very similar style as the uh, Apple stuff. So that's gonna be interesting if they decide to kind of see Apple about this. And it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, man, let me hop back in the comments and see what you guys got going. Minnie's supposed to be 699. The girl in the video straight lied to her dad. That was funny. Hey, that's gonna happen, man. That's gonna happen. Two Phone says 5.4 is to the 4.7. So an iPhone 12 mini is still iPhone 8. Yeah, yeah, it's I guess because it's boxier, it reminds you more of the SE, but imagine the SE with no bezels, I guess. Jason says no more Touch ID, only the SE has it now. And iPhone SE dirt cheap though. Yeah. Well, so they put Touch ID on the new iPads. So they're giving you conflicting information. Like is Touch ID trash the way they say it is? If you know if Face ID is so good, why didn't they put on the new iPads? If it's supposed to be the most secure, the most this and that, and if Touch ID is supposed to be such a inferior technology, I don't know. But it is what it is. It's Apple. They're gonna make money regardless. At this point, trying to think if I missed any kind of features or anything I want to talk about with the iPhones. Um, yeah, man, they're gonna sell. They got them in a bunch of cool colors. I haven't seen. I didn't see if they showed like a graphic, but do the colors match up with the watches and the iPads? Like I thought they would. I felt like that's kind of what they were going for, at least with the base model, like the 12 and the 12 mini. I figured that they would have colors that would match the SE watches with the 12s, and maybe the Series 6 watches would match the Pros. Take a look and see. Man, yeah. Yeah, so in case y'all are curious, the HomePod is going to be available to order November 6th. And you'll be able to walk into a store and pick it up on the 16th. Yeah. So the MagSafe accessories will be available on the 23rd. You can order those on the 16th. Pre-order. Wow, so they're holding back. So you can't even pre-order the mini until November 6th. So if you really got iPhone fever, you're going to be forced to buy a more expensive one. At least the 12. The 12 pre-order starts on 10/16. And man, so the Pro Max won't be available to pre-order until November 6th either. So that's going to be tough. Yeah, this is going to be another. I don't know, man. So another Apple year, man. To be honest, I just got to be honest, man. I know the phones are gonna be just seeing them like they went back to this flat design, and then the sides are gonna be they're gonna have like a shiny jewelry type finish. It's gonna be a beautiful phone. I know it is. Yeah, Jason says painful wait. Says but a welcome one along with my PS5. Yeah, yeah. It says November is gonna be the best month this year. Yeah, no, yeah. Hopefully November is the best month. And we'll find out around the third how good of a month it's gonna be. But yeah, man. If I don't have anything else, I appreciate y'all for stopping through. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed. And I just appreciate y'all coming through, hanging out with me. I know I had to move the date, but y'all still rock with me. Not the date, the time, but y'all still rock with me. I appreciate that. Two Phone says iPhone 1, phone of the year again. Look like LeBum James. Yeah, the iPhone 12 Pro Max is gonna be. I mean, when the iPhones start costing less, when they start giving you more for less than other phones, that's a problem. Yeah, Samsung got to get that fold down to under 1,500 real quick. They says just buy one. Stop it. Nah, man, I'm good. I'm good. Cause I'm not like I said, man. You gotta have the ecosystem. That's the max benefit, and I'm not about to do that. Cause like I said, just from a phone standpoint, that'll be my point of frustration with the phone, for sure. But like I was saying before, man, I appreciate y'all for stopping through and keeping up with me even through the time change. We'll be back at the same time next week, 11:30. Um, man, I appreciate y'all. Happy Apple Day to all the Apple folks. Until next time I talk to you. Peace.